Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to share the recipe of a bakery style cake which is butterscotch cake. I am definitely sure this cake would be favorite for many one of you like me. This cake is really delicious and perfect to bake for birthdays. Look at it friends, this has 3 layers of sponge cake, butterscotch sauce, praline and a silky smooth whipped cream. Let's begin by preparing the sponge cake first. Take 1 cup of maida or all-purpose flour in a sieve, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. You can add in a pinch of salt as well. Sieve the flour mix and the dry ingredients will be ready now. We need 4 eggs to make this sponge cake. Beat it nicely with an electric beater. Beat the eggs nicely until it turns frothy and light in color. We need 1 cup of powdered sugar. So once the egg turns frothy, add in the sugar little by little and continue beating. The sponginess of the cake depends on how well we are beating the eggs. We have to beat in the eggs nicely until it doubles in volume and turns cream in color. Now you could see the eggs has almost filled the bowl. This should be the texture of the egg and the sugar mix. Now add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Add in 3 tablespoons of sunflower oil. You can add any flavorless oil. Beat it slightly until everything combines well. Now it's time to add in the flour mix. Add in the flour little by little and mix it gently. Do not overbeat the batter because it has a lot of air in it. I have taken 1/4 cup of hot milk here. While folding in the flour mix, we have to add milk. We shouldn't use electric beater once we start to add the flour. Handle the batter gently so that our cake will be super spongy. I have taken an 8-inch square tin here. Grease the cake tin with oil and line it with the butter sheet. I have greased the butter sheet also with oil. Transfer the cake batter into the baking tin. Give it a tap so that the air bubbles goes off. I have baked this cake for 40 minutes at 170 degrees Celsius. Well, the baking time completely depends on your oven type. The cake is baked perfectly and it's so spongy. Cool the cake slightly and remove the butter sheet. Look at it friends, the cake is so spongy. You can use this cake as base and give any flavor to it. I'm going to prepare crunchy praline now. Take half cup of mixed nuts. I have taken badam as well as cashew nuts. Dry roast the nuts in medium flame and make sure it doesn't change color. The nuts are perfectly roasted and keep it aside. Take half cup of sugar in a pan and cook it in low flame. You would see the sugar is melting. I'm just mixing it slightly so that everything melts. You would see the sugar started to change color and finally it will end up in amber color like this. This is caramel and once it resembles like honey, add in 1 teaspoon of butter. I have chopped the roasted nuts slightly and you can add it to the caramel sauce. Mix it nicely and switch off the flame. I have greased this stainless steel plate with oil and poured the nut mix into it. The praline mix has cooled completely and it's time to powder it. I have taken this in a Ziploc bag and powdering it with the rolling pin. So make sure not to make it to a fine powder. The crunchy praline mix is ready now. You can powder this in mixie in pulse mode if needed. I'm going to prepare salted butterscotch sauce now. For that, take half cup of sugar in a pan. Melt the sugar until it turns amber color or resembles like honey. So we are repeating the same step as we did for praline. Add in 50 grams of butter. You can use this butterscotch sauce for ice creams or toppings for any desserts. I'm adding in quarter teaspoon of salt, so this is salted butterscotch sauce. Finally, add in half cup of thick fresh cream. I'm using Amul brand fresh cream here. Cook this in low flame for a minute. The delicious salted butterscotch sauce is ready now. I have whipped in 1.5 cups of whipping cream and added little yellow food color. This is simple syrup. To make this, I have mixed in half cup of hot water and 3 tablespoons of sugar. Cool the simple syrup before frosting the cake. I have taken a cake board and a turntable. I have sliced in the sponge cake into 3 equal parts. Apply little whipped cream so that the cake doesn't fall off. Place in the first sponge cake and soak it with the simple syrup. Pipe in a layer of whipped cream on top of the sponge cake. Level the whipped cream with a spatula. Add in little salted butterscotch sauce into it. If the butterscotch sauce thickens, you can add little hot water and loosen it. Now add a little praline on top of the butterscotch sauce. Place in the second layer of cake. We are going to repeat the same step as we did before. First comes the cake, then the soaking syrup, whipped cream, butterscotch sauce, and finally praline. It's easy to work on a cake when you take the whipping cream in a piping bag. You will get even layer of whipped cream frosting. This cake has a lot of elements in it. I normally prepare the sponge cake on the previous day. This cake is so delicious and tastes exactly like the one we get it from bakeries. So all the efforts we make to make this cake is completely worth it. Place in the third cake, which is the final layer. Soak it with simple syrup so that our cake will be super moist. I'm adding little whipped cream and giving a crumb coating. Crumb coating is nothing but to give a very thin layer of the frosting. While doing so, the cake crumbs just settles in with the cream. The crumb coating of the cake is ready now. We have to set this cake in refrigerator for half an hour. The cake is taken out of the refrigerator and I'm giving thick layer of whipped cream. I have added little yellow food color to the cream, so make sure not to add more color. Normally I used to level the cake with a spatula. If I find any gap means I used to fill in with the whipped cream and level it again. Once you start decorating the cake with whipped cream means you will get your own idea. So use any method which suits you to frost the cake with the whipped cream. The cake is covered with the whipped cream and I'm going to cover the sides of the cake with the praline. This praline mix gives crunchy texture to our cake. The cake is covered beautifully with the praline and I have cleaned the sides of the cake. I'm giving simple rosette design with the star nozzle. Use your creation to decorate the cake, friends. I'm adding golden sprinkles to make it more beautiful. I'm filling in the center of the cake with the salted butterscotch sauce. Actually, I melted the butterscotch sauce in microwave for 20 seconds. Or else you can add little hot water and mix it. The beautiful, delicious, my all-time favorite butterscotch cake is ready now. Do try this cake at least once and share me the feedback. This cake will be a showstopper when you make it in birthday parties, friends. The weight of this cake will be around 1 kilogram. Set this cake in the refrigerator for 1 hour before slicing it. I have taken the cake out of the fridge and slicing it. Look at it, friends, how beautiful the butterscotch cake has turned out. You can see 3 layers of cake, salted butterscotch sauce and crunchy praline. Look at the texture of the cake, friends. This is so spongy and delicious. Do try this cake and share me the feedback. Subscribe my channel for more interesting recipes. I'll see you next video. Until then, bye bye and take care.